And I think as well, everybody, when they go to the airport and leave to the last minute, they'll pick up the latest book. But there are lots of books that are written that you don't get a chance to read. And I've picked 3 that I think work as really good travel guides in themselves, because there are lots of interesting destinations in the plot. Yeah. So the first one I've picked is by Carlos Luis Zafón, and it's The Shadow of the Wind. And this was written in around 2001, and it's set in Barcelona, post-Civil War. And it's a really good kind of thriller with a bit of romance, and it's a really good book club type book, book to read. And the main character, Daniel St. Pierre, is brought to the cemetery by his father, and he finds an old book, and there's kind of then a lot of chasing through the city to find the author of that book. And he travels through the Plaza Real, which is one of the main squares off the Ramblas. He goes up and down the Ramblas and the Church of Santa Maria de la Mar, and lots of really nice places within Barcelona. And Barcelona is an amazing city filled with Gaudi-esque architecture, like the Park Güell we just saw there, which Antonio Gaudi constructed several amazing basilicas. Well, one basilica is Sagrada Familia, but lots of really interesting houses, the Casa Batlló. Yeah, it's a feast for the eyes, because these buildings were built in the early part of the 20th century.
So would you recommend reading it before you go and then rereading it when you're there, or is it nice to read it as you go along? Oh, here's a few chapters, I'll check this out today.
What about if you're staying somewhere like Salou and you're reading it there, and then you're taking a day trip into Barcelona? Or you might read it at home and decide, oh, I'd like to go and see where that is. And this particular book has a very interesting attraction, because there is a guided tour of all the areas in the book. Yes, you can buy it online. It's about €15. It's a 2-hour walking trip, and it brings you to all the places that are in the book. So that'd be a nice little thing to do when you get to Barcelona. And
it's so easy to get around Barcelona as well.
It is, yeah. And it goes to actually, certain Les Quatre, the Four Cats. The restaurant, the Four Cats, is one of the key places, and it's mentioned in the book. And it's where Pablo Picasso used to hang out and had his first exhibition. And you can fit in a lot of culture. If you're going with the kids to Barcelona, read the book for yourself, get a bit of culture in. But Nou Camp is a must if you're going to Barcelona and you're bringing the kids. We spent more than half a day
Little
there.
Boys like their soccer.
Oh, my son absolutely was in his element, and so was his dad. It was just great. We were brought into the changing rooms. Tina, you might like to see those.
Was there anyone in the changing rooms?
Yeah.
You actually have to get into football to see it, so it was actually quite mind-blowing.
The construction of it.
Yeah, the actual stadium is beautiful.
It's beautiful, and down in the chambers, and you see like all the other parts and facets of the game that are going on. So that's one of the things I'd recommend. Going up and down Las Ramblas, you could spend every evening going up and down there, eating the churros and dipping them in the chocolate. Fabulous tapas.
That's the main tourist area, is it? Restaurants and
it's kind of like the main street, like Grafton Street.
Can I add a tip to that?
Yeah.
Don't buy your drinks there, because you'll pay €16 for a sangria. Just go down one of the side streets and find somewhere lovely. It's great for the hustle and bustle and just walking up and down. We've got great photos of the kids on the shoulders and all that, and it's brilliant. It's a great place, but it'll cost you if you just actually eat there.
Well, it's like every main thoroughfare.
It's like a pint in Temple Bar as opposed to anywhere else.
Absolutely, yeah. But you'll see like tango dancers, performing on the side of the street, and
you feel
I was going to Barcelona.
I was going to say, the other thing about Barcelona that people who haven't been there don't necessarily realise, it's a great beach. It's one of the best urban beaches in the world. Yeah, fabulous beach in Barcelona.
If you get the big red bus tour, which I think is a great thing when you go to a European city, it'll bring you around and you get your sense of space and place and see where everything is and decide then what you want to go back to. That's a really good thing. It's about 2 hours. It's quite a long trip because it's a big city. And there are some special offers there at the moment. You won't beat this price. Click and Go have on the 30th of August 3 nights for $266 per person, flight and accommodation. And Expedia,
3 nights?
Yeah, for 3 nights. Expedia have 5-star at Amelia Hotel, which would be a big treat, on 17th of August for $580, and that would really, the Amelia 5-star hotels are something else. They have them in London and dotted all over the place, so you can go on either of those websites and just see what's going. You can do your own thing as well, but you can actually quite often save a lot by booking through operators like them, and you're protected then.
Yeah, that is so true. I've learned my lesson there. When it comes to our second book of today.
My second book today. Well,
I love this book. I know it wasn't received as well as his first one, The Da Vinci Code, but yes, Angels and Demons.
You love or hate Dan Brown, but I think we have to give him huge credit for getting a lot of men back reading in the same way, that hadn't read in a long time, in the same way that J.K. Rowling got kids reading with Harry Potter series. And as an author, like, he's an art historian and he knows his stuff. He really knows where he's writing about, and he goes into thorough research. And Rome is a city full of amazing, beautiful churches and streets, and a lot of this, because it's got a religious theme, a lot of this book is set around St. Peter's and the Sistine Chapel, but he goes to the Pantheon, and, any of you who've read about Dan Brown, I'm sure most people have touched on one of them, the Da Vinci Code, most comedy. To go to these places then, after reading about it, there's something really nice about reading about it. Having an image.
After reading about it, it's like it's just fascinating, the catacombs. To think that all of that stuff is going on underneath, because it's such a journey level. It's not just the things like St. Peter's Basilica that you'll see, or things like that. It's such rich history there, and it's great to get.
It is, and you can really get into it. I we'll say St. Peter's is a must if you're in Rome. It really is worth it. And despite the queues and going through security and everything, it is the Sistine Chapel as well. But my favourite square, and it's the most common one, it's been in so many movies, is of course the Piazza Navona, which is just stunning square to sit in and
Wasn't
people
someone
watch.
drowned in that one?
The Cardinal, I think it was the third Cardinal.
Yeah.
It was the meeting of the Four Rivers or something like
I
that.
I recognised it from somewhere. I've never been to Rome, actually.
Oh, you have to.
I know. I'd be wanting to go to the Mouth of Truth, from Roman holidays.
Yeah. Oh, you put
And I'd be like, no, I'm I'm the first person whose hand will actually get chopped off.
Well, there are big long queues at that. But I think Rome has so much to offer that you should save something for the next time. Don't dash around. Pick either the Vatican City in that aspect, and then the next time hang around Spanish Steps, and there's a great literary heritage as well. The shopping is amazing. Best handbag shopping in the world, I think.
Leather.
And it's not all your copycat ones. It's unique individual designs by local designers. So I think Rome's a great city. Of course, the Trevi Fountain is another of my favourite spots to go and eat ice cream at night and just hang around. See the people.
That's amazing. Like, that's a whole
other
trip.
Completely other trip. It's wonderful. I've got two deals here from Click and Go actually that were very good. Donatello Hotel 332 per person, and that's going at the 22nd of August.
Is that flights and accommodation?
Both, and 4-star 347 per person. That's the 19th of August. So if it's the last minute and you feel adventurous and you read the book quickly and want to get there, or maybe plan for for the autumn or for a spring break.
Nice little city break deals there now. Finally, a bit more of a trip away here.
Well, this is more of a trip, and you might want to be thinking about something for the autumn. But this book I've chosen is I've chosen it not because I love the book, because I think that it kind of it's like a Maeve Binchy, but because a man wrote it, it got a lot more accolades, so I'm kind of a bit cross about that. But it's Brooklyn by Colm Tóibín, and it won Brooklyn by Colm Tóibín, and it won several awards, and it did make a great movie, and Saoirse Ronan was amazing in the movie, and it's a really good story. Of course, most people who've read it or seen the movie will know it's kind of about an immigrant in the 1950s, Ailish, who moves from County Wexford, and she goes to New York and lives in the borough of Brooklyn. And I think we feel like we're hardened New York travellers, and we all know about New York. But the thing is, New York is made up of 5 boroughs. It's Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, and Manhattan is where most people settle, where they tend to go, and they hang around Midtown, and they go to Times Square repeatedly, and don't often venture right down as far as the port, down where the Bull is in Wall Street. And you can go for a day trip to Staten Island completely free, because the ferry is free, so you can hop, and that's a great day trip. But Brooklyn itself is actually a really trendy neighbourhood now, and house prices have gone really up, and you could go there and spend a lovely day. There's a red bus tour that'll bring you there, show you around it. Lots of really nice places to hang out, and it's the start of New York Restaurant Week, actually, on 25th of July. That's yesterday. So it started.
It's way too hot to be going to New York now. It's very sticky and disgusting, I believe. One of my best friends lives in Brooklyn, actually. She was back last week. She's there this week on, the heat. She got the heat in Ireland, and now she has it back again.
Well, you see, if you're there, the great thing is you're not too far. You're a 50-minute drive from Coney Island, which features in the book, of course. It's where Ailish goes for her day trip with her Italian boyfriend, who she later marries, and there is an old-fashioned fun fair there. It's kind of like the East Coast version of Santa Monica Pier, and it's really kind of, isn't it a nice kind of throwback to old fun fairs of the past. Lovely long boardwalk. You do have to pay on beaches in America, though, for basically going on them. So just keep that in mind. But as I said, it is New York Restaurant Week, and that goes throughout the whole of the 5 boroughs at the moment. And there's a lot of exciting things always happening in New York.
So if you want to go there and you don't want to bankrupt yourself, how would one do it?
Well, Wow Airlines have started.
I thought you were going, wow! You can go there for a tenner, it's great.
Well, Wow Airlines are actually opening up flights via Reykjavik at the end of November.
Via Reykjavik?
Via Reykjavik. So they're an Icelandic airline, and you could stop off for an hour and a half in Reykjavik, and you fly on to lots of American destinations. Price of 156 one way to New York, and you can start booking them.
Oh, so you can return to New York for 300 quid.
300 quid. And with one short stop over. So that if you really want
So is the return the same price as...
Yeah, you can, so it's like 312 euros. So that really is a great
it's worth
offer.
the extra air miles,
well,
as it were.
Well, it's just the inconvenience of it. Instead of a direct flight, you've got a short stopover, but you do have the option of making a layover and maybe getting to see Reykjavik and taking a night there. So then you could see it as a.
I know the way your mind goes. Yeah, I'll have 2 holidays.
I'm always thinking of value, Elaine. You know me. But Tour America actually have an incredible offer at the moment with the Beacon Hotel, which I love. It's in Manhattan. Most people want to stay in Manhattan, but the Beacon Hotel is up at the north end of it, beside the Central Park. And it's kind of where all the locals are living. So it's kind of really...
So is this inclusive of flights and...
Flights and accommodation. 3 nights from September the 1st is 769. That's for 3 nights.
Yeah.
And that's staying in the Beacon Hotel. It's an amazing hotel. And they have kind of self-catering within each apartment. And it's very close to Central Park. And
so those prices go up, and I know a lot of people like to go for Christmas shopping.
Yeah, they'll vary. And Cassidy Travel actually have a really good price for 3 nights at $598 at the moment. You'll have to go on there. I don't know where their accommodation is, though. I was trying to find that. But and do try Expedia and other websites that'll help.
There's often good deals to New York, isn't there?
Often good deals there are, and it's and try and step off Manhattan when you're there, at least for a day. Go and see the Botanic Gardens in Brooklyn. Go and see the Museum of the Moving Image in Astoria. Go to Staten Island, have a walk, and they're redeveloping that at the moment. So just think outside the box if you're an expert in New York.
Okay, there you go. Now, last week before I